Good morning, Wellspring. We are going to be doing the reading for February 23rd. That jumps us into Deuteronomy chapter 27. But before we do that, I just figured we'd take a second and just kind of talk a little bit about the book of Deuteronomy just to help you understand what we're doing. This is a big jump that we're going. We're going to skip over chapter 9 all the way through chapter 26 and land in chapter 27. Part of what's happening in the book of Deuteronomy is the generation that has been led out of Egypt in the book of Exodus, right? Most of them have died, or if not all of them have died. And so now the Israelites are preparing to enter into the promised land. That 40-year wandering, that punishment for their rebellion against God has come to a completion. The generation below them is going to get to enter into the promised land. And so Moses is retelling in these first 8 chapters of Deuteronomy, or this first pocket of Deuteronomy, he's retelling the current generation what has happened, what occurred, how they were delivered. And they know the story, but as their leader, Moses is giving all these speeches. And that's what we've been reading. Some of these speeches about be set apart for holiness, don't be set apart for destruction. Remember that it's God's mighty hand that delivers you, all those things. And then Moses moves into the section from Deuteronomy 9 through Deuteronomy 26 that talks about the laws. It's Moses giving the law and giving further explanation of the law that the people should follow. And he's giving them all of these expectations and what it should look like. And oftentimes we can get a little bit lost in that law space when we're reading that, and we can struggle with like these laws don't look very compassionate, or these laws don't compare very well with the laws that we would recognize in our culture today. But the trick with these laws is that you have to compare them to their neighbors. You have to compare them to the other people groups, the oh my goodness, my brain is slipping, but like the Assyrian type text or the Babylonian type text of the surrounding people groups of this time, and recognize what their laws are. And then as you wrestle with these laws that we see in Deuteronomy and compare them with those laws, we begin to realize God's law is very different. It cares for the widow, it cares for the poor, it cares for the orphan, it cares for the immigrant and the foreigner. It offers opportunities for mercy. It offers sanctuary cities for people who have accidentally killed someone. And it provides some ritual cleanliness laws that actually will benefit Israel, like keeping themselves clean and helping them avoid disease and helping them avoid infections that other cultures around them might not have avoided because they didn't have these types of laws in place, right? And so we can't compare the laws that we see written with our law, and we can't make a bunch of cultural understanding or implication based off of what we think about those laws. We have to compare them with their neighbors' laws, with the surrounding countries, with the surrounding cultures and people groups. And then that begins to reveal to us God's wisdom, God's direction for cleanliness, God's mercy, God's compassion, God's goodness. And so we just have to be careful with that space to evaluate that in a good way, right? And then we jump into Deuteronomy chapter 27, which is where we're going to pick up. And from 27 through the end of the book, we're going to get a bunch of speeches from Moses where he is going to say, now that you've received the law, he's speaking to the generation that is survived in the wilderness but didn't exit Egypt, right? They weren't a part of the Exodus. Their parents were. And so he's told them the story. Now he's given them the law. And then we move into Deuteronomy 27 through the end of the book, where Moses is going to say, if you follow the law, here's what happens. Here's the blessings. If you don't follow the law, here's the curses, right? And so we're going to get this back and forth. And so chapter 27 actually kind of focuses on here's some curses if you don't follow the law, right? And we're going to get this back and forth over the next couple days. And then we're going to get to the end of the book where Moses is going to say, here's what I know. This is a wicked and stubborn people. And when I die, you will rebel against the Lord. But even in your rebellion, God one day is going to raise up the people of Israel, even when they are in their exile, even when they're in their brokenness, even when they're in their most desperate place, and give them an opportunity for a new heart, a clean heart, to take out this hard-heartedness where they continue to fall into rebellion and continue to struggle, and give them a new opportunity to walk with God, to honor His path, to honor His plan, to obey His commands, right? And so that's what we're going to get over these next couple chapters is this picture of here's the blessing if you follow, here's the cursing if you don't, and then this prophetic warning that comes from Moses that Israel will fall, but God will be faithful in spite of their fall and will redeem them. Okay, with that general context in mind, let's do this big jump ahead. We just finished Deuteronomy chapter 8 yesterday, and now we're jumping all the way ahead to Deuteronomy chapter 27. We're going to skip over all the laws that Moses gives. And now we're going to hear about what happens if you obey, what happens if you don't. And here we go. Deuteronomy chapter 27. We're picking up in the NIV, and here we go. Moses and the elders of Israel commanded the people, keep all of these commands that I give you today. When you have crossed the Jordan into the land the Lord your God is giving you, set up some large stones and coat them with plaster. Write on them all the words of this law when you have crossed over to enter the land the Lord your God is giving you, a land flowing with milk and honey, just as the Lord your God, the God of your ancestors, promised you. And when you have crossed the Jordan, set up these stones on Mount Ebal, as I command you today, and coat them with plaster. Build there an altar to the Lord your God, an altar of stones. Do not use any iron tool on them. Build the altar of the Lord your God with field stones, and offer burnt offerings on it to the Lord your God. Sacrifice fellowship offerings there, eating them and rejoicing in the presence of the Lord your God. And you shall write very clearly all the words of this law on these stones that you have set up. Then Moses and the Levitical priests said to all of Israel, be silent, Israel, and listen. You have now become the people of the Lord your God. Obey the Lord your God, and follow his commands and decrees that I give you today. On that same day, Moses commanded the people, when you have crossed the Jordan, these tribes shall stand on Mount Gerizim to bless the people: Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Joseph, and Benjamin. And these tribes shall stand on Mount Ebal to pronounce curses: Reuben, Gad, Asher, Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali. The Levites shall recite to all the people of Israel in a loud voice, cursed is anyone who makes an idol, a thing detestable to the Lord, the work of skilled hands, and sets it up in a secret place. Then all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who dishonors his father or mother. Then all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who moves their neighbor's boundary stone. Then all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who leads the blind astray on the road. Then all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who withholds justice from the foreigner, the fatherless, or the widow. Then all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who sleeps with his father's wife, for he dishonors his father's bed. Then all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who has sexual relations with any animal. Then all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who sleeps with his sister, the daughter of his father, or the daughter of his mother. Then all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who sleeps with his mother-in-law. Then all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who kills their neighbor secretly. Then all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who accepts a bribe to kill an innocent person. Then all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who does not uphold the words of this law by carrying them out. Then all the people shall say, Amen. Yeah, okay, so there we start off with Moses writing down and saying to us, here's the curses for not following the law, right? You will be cursed. And that cursing is a separation from God. It's a departure from God's goodness and from his faithfulness, and being left out on your own and in isolation. Remember what I said, these laws, this stuff, culturally, we might not fully understand why all these laws need to be said or why they need to be expressed the way they do. Some of them inherently we know we don't want to partake in or participate with. And then some of them are things that maybe do look a little bit familiar to us. But remember, we're not comparing them to our law. We're not comparing this to our culture. We have to compare it to the cultures around them, Israel's neighbors at the time. and see what that reflects to us about God. And then simultaneously, we're just hearing the curses that can come from disobedience and the blessings that can come from Moses as he's closing out his journey with the Israelite people and as we move towards the end of the Pentateuch. God bless you, Wellspring. Have a great day. Bye.